Hey guys, Tony here, back again. What can I say? I'm sick again. This is just ridiculous. So if you remember, I was just sick, and it's back again. Something else. Just a really bad cold sort of thing, and I don't know, body ache sort of thing. It sucks. I feel all right now, probably because I took some Advil, but. Yeah, I don't. I noticed the last time when I was sick that there were other people around, like in the office and stuff, that were sick, and theirs seemed to last longer. Because I got over the last one pretty quick. So I kind of figured there were two things going around, and I finally got the second one. Again, my wife and daughter are both sick too. It's crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's just the weather, the winter. Having a really mild winter, especially compared to last year. Last year's winter was brutal. But anyway, it is what it is. So, recent finds. Got some new records here. Not a ton. This is by far not my biggest recent vinyl finds video, but some really great stuff nonetheless, and some things I'm really excited about. I want to thank everybody for all the great recommendations and comments on my Can Collection Progressive Music video. The main idea of doing that video really was to get suggestions, and I got a lot of great ones. So, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. Couple things I were recommended. I already had a couple things. It was funny. I was recommended, and I had just picked them up. And then there are a few things, well, maybe a couple, one or two things that were recommended to me that I went and bought. So, worked out well, So thank you, everybody. I'm just fascinated with this music. I think the thing is, when I talk about, sort of getting into this more progressive, out there sort of music, a lot of it is just wanting to know what it's all about. What is the reason for it? What's trying to be expressed? And I just think it's fascinating, and it's just a whole other, like this whole other, place of music, and it's just like, I don't know. I'm not the most eloquent guy in the world, so bear with me here. So anyway, I'll just get started showing you some really interesting, some cool stuff. Really happy with this batch. So I'll get started here. You gotta forgive me ahead of time here. Like I said, I'm definitely not completely myself here. So, finally picked up something by Howlin Wolf on Chess Records. The only other thing by Howlin Wolf I have is the London Howlin Wolf sessions, but wanted to get his well-known songs on vinyl. And this is, Howlin Wolf. It's on Chess Records. His Greatest Sides, Volume 1. And like the title says, it's his best-known songs, really. This is in like a 1980... It's actually a Canadian pressing. 1985. In beautiful shape, except for that funky stain there. I don't even want to know what that is. But yeah, I mean, Howlin Wolf is probably my favorite old blues man. Just fantastic. I gotta say, Captain Beefheart, Tom Waits owe a lot to this man. Look at that cover. I would say, Tom Waits owes a lot to Captain Beefheart, and Captain Beefheart owes a lot to Howlin Wolf. But anyway, fantastic. Sitting on Top of the World, one of my favorite songs, period. I mean, Cream, that's the version I knew first, and Love, that's probably one of my favorite Cream songs. Smokestack Lightning, of course. The Red Rooster, Spoonful, Christ, Evil, Killing Floor, Do the Do, I Ain't Superstitious, Who's Been Talking, 300 Pounds of Joy, and Backdoor Man, and there's others too, but fantastic, and very happy to get this for just a few bucks, so awesome. Jazz record by jazz pianist extraordinaire Keith Jarrett. So this is The Death and the Flower. And this is a fantastic record. 1975, I want to say. 75. And it is on ABC Impulse. Love that label. In beautiful shape. The cover's got some wear. This is a sticker right here. I gotta get it off. But fantastic record. The title track, Death in the Flowers, just fantastic. Some really cool sort of rhythms, and then it goes into it's like 20 minutes, and then it goes into some just improvisation, just fantastic stuff. It is a gatefold. There's the man there. Just a great record, really. Very happy to get it. So another jazz record, Jimmy Smith, Paid in Full. Look at that cover. That is not Jimmy Smith, by the way. This is a release from 1974, Mojo Records. It's a reissue. There's Jimmy Smith there on the back. Fantastic keyboard. I believe he plays. He play Hammond keyboard. But yeah, he does a cover of "Killing Me Softly." Very cool. He kind of does his own thing with it. It's fantastic, but also it's only 4 tracks, 4 basically 9-minute tracks. One of them is 6 minutes, but Paid in Full, title track is awesome. So very happy to get this. A while ago, I showed a record by Return to Forever, and I believe I commented on Bill Connors, the guitar player, who I just kind of said, well, what a great guitar player, I believe Derek commented and said, check out some of his solo work. So I came across this, Bill Connors of Mist and Melting, and fantastic stuff. Got to listen to it more, but I listened to it once and it was just really great sounds going on here. Fantastic. So ECM in just mint shape, really. Somebody took really good care of this. This is probably one of the most well-protected records. It's in like 2 inner sleeves. But yeah, fantastic. So happy to get it. Bill Connors of Mist and Melting. I believe there's another cover for this as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, very cool. Alright, so this is a record I picked up, and I said to Cool Ranch Dressing, they showed this too. I said, I actually have a new record in common with you guys. Reissue, Electric Wizard. And I believe, yeah, their debut. And this is on Rise Above, reissue. Awesome, just, doom metal. If you like Black Sabbath, that kind of thing, you will like this. At least you should. Great riffs, that sort of thing. And, stoner metal, doom sort of stuff. Have a couple of their records and really like them. So, very, very cool. Rise Above, just a great label. Love that cover art, too. Just very cool. Another one, just guitar heaven here. Sort of psych guitar. Just 3-piece. Earthless. What a great record this is. I believe it is their debut. Sonic Prayer, that's the name of it. It is on Gravity Records, and it's from 2005. Fantastic stuff. I've been meaning to check out Earthless. I have checked out Earthless a little bit, but not a ton. And a bunch of their records used to be at my local store. And when I finally got around to go picking them up, checking them out, they were all gone. This was probably a year ago now, and finally came across to this. I have checked out videos. I kind of knew what they were about, but this is fantastic. It is on a very cool, has an insert, and it is on a very, very cool clear orange vinyl. Excellent stuff. I believe they have a couple records out, and they have a live at Roadburn I want to check out. But yeah, fantastic. Highly recommended. Awesome. Couple reissues here. This one I'd never heard of before. I was at my local record store, and the owner, who I kind of talk with quite a bit, it was kind of having a conversation with somebody else. And I was just in the store looking, And he was kind of like deep in conversation, and I guess he just happened to look over and saw me looking at this, and he was like, "You should get that," just interrupted his conversation. So I was intrigued, never heard of it. And he's like, "Yeah, definitely, you should get it." So I did, and it's awesome. The Bodywell Music Machine, 19, I want to say 60, I don't know, maybe 67, around there. It's either 67 or 69. Sort of psych garage, and it's fantastic. It's just awesome reissue. This didn't sell, I guess, when it came out. I don't know if it was basically a flop, but Sean Bodywell, he put out a couple albums. I believe this is the only album as the Bodywell Music Machine. I think he had another album by the name of, I don't know, was it initials Bodywell? I can't remember, but maybe ST Bodywell or something like that. I can't remember. That was more sort of acoustic, I want to say. I never heard it, just sort of read about it. But yeah, fantastic stuff. In talking to the record store owner, he said, they put out a single from this, Double Yellow Line, and he said basically if had that single been a hit, we probably would be living in a different world today. Very interesting stuff. Definitely sort of progressive, I want to say, but not. I mean, it's still garagey psych stuff, but it's fantastic. Check it out if you're not familiar with it. This one I was really happy to see reissued. The Graaff Generator, and this is their debut, the Aerosol Gray Machine. Look at that cover. Love it. Graaff Generator, of course, the progressive rock band. Peter Hamill. So this was supposed to be a Peter Hamill solo record. The Graaff Generator were together and they broke up for some reason. And he had signed a contract with Mercury Records, I believe. Yeah, Mercury. And at the last minute he decided he's going to get the band back together and put out a Graaff Generator record. So it's their debut and it's fantastic. 1969. Again, progressive rock, but still sort of psych. Awesome. Their albums are being reissued. I believe this. I know Pawn Hearts is being reissued. I believe. So check them out. Recommended. I mean, you guys know the Graaff Generator. It's fantastic stuff. So, very happy to get this. Finally picked this up. This was recommended to me in my last video. Knew about this release, but never really checked it out. Cool Ranch Dressing recommended this to me. And I know Mike, Bostonian Reggie, he picked this up fairly recently. And finally got around to picking it up. Terry Riley, Rainbow and Curved Air. Highly influential, minimalist composer. This album was very influential. Sort of psych in a way, if you will. Just very, very cool stuff. A big influence on progressive rock, really, and later stuff. Tubular Bells. Mainly, he plays all of the instruments by himself, and it's all overdubs. And really cool record. The first side is playing keyboards, really, and it's really cool. It starts out with this drone. The second side is a little bit darker. Terry Riley, Poppy No Good, and the Phantom Band. Sort of darker. I believe there's playing sax on that and a few other things, but a really, really cool record. Of course, very obviously well known here in the community, but glad to finally pick it up. This is another one that was recommended to me, and I already had an album by this artist, and I already actually picked this up, and blown away by this too. I mean, the other album I had by him is awesome, but this is just, it's a new release, compilation, and it's fantastic. I recommend if you're curious about this guy, pick this up. It's awesome. A 2 LP set, beautifully done. Moondog. Again, very interesting, hard to describe sort of stuff. Moondog was basically, he was a blind, very well educated musician, like, schooled in all kinds of music. But he was blind, and he lived on the streets of New York for a long time. That was kind of his thing. The name of this is actually the the Viking of 6th Avenue, which is kind of how he became known. You can't see that. But anyway, the Viking of 6th Avenue. This is on Honest John's record. And it's a compilation, stuff from his whole career, really. Kind of jazz. He's got some sort of like, kind of like Native American rhythms on a lot of stuff. And, of course, very experimental. He's got like a musical world all his own. Again, a lot of, percussion is very important. I believe he invented a lot of his own instruments. And very, very cool stuff. So, recommended. Check this out. It's import from the UK. But yeah, awesome stuff. Finally picked up some Alice Coltrane. My first real exposure to her, to be honest. Transfiguration. This is a live album. And it's just her on keyboards, piano, with a bass player and a drummer. And this is awesome. I gotta say, it really reminds me of later Coltrane, John Coltrane, just done on piano and keyboard. Very interesting. I gotta listen to it more. Another 2 LP set. One performance, I believe it is. Yeah, recorded at Schoenberg Hall, UCLA, April 16th, 1978. So, live album, and it's fantastic. So, gotta listen to it some more. It's about beautiful. Loved what I heard. Alright, down to the last 3 here. Really excited about these. This one, Derek showed it in he showed all of his CDs, his CD burns, and he showed this and said he saw that Fred Big Star 1000 had this. And never heard of it. I must have missed when Fred showed it, but then he's shown it since then. And I said, what the hell, I'll look. So I looked online and I bid on this, and I was the only bidder. Got this for $20, I want to say. And man, this is killer. Italian Prague, Alpha Taurus. This is fantastic. What year? 1970. Yeah, I don't know. It's maybe 74 or 75, that time period, I want to say. But basically considered a masterpiece of Italian Prague. This is really my first foray into Italian Prague, really. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to check out, Goblin, things like that. I believe Goblin were Italian, but anyway. Very heavy prog, almost deep purplish at times. Just fantastic guitar work, keyboards. But then has quieter, sort of like acoustic passages, and it's very well done. Sung in Italian, but it's still a fantastic record. So, really happy to get it. This is a 1992 reissue, Kareem Press. Yeah, so very happy to get it. Check it out. Finally, this is a record I've been after. Finally grabbed this. I've been after this for forever. Didn't want to pay too much for it because for some reason I've seen copies of this go for really cheap or really expensive, and it's kind of ridiculous. So I was holding out for something good. I saw Jonas pick this up recently, and then Fred Big Star 1000 showed his copy recently, and I was like, gotta get that record. And I'm glad I waited because I scored a really good copy for cheap. I'm really happy with it. Finally, Frank Zappa's Hot Rats. What a great record, man. I gotta say, I mean, there's a reason why it's considered one of Frank's best, you know what I mean? Totally a jazz fusion record. All instrumental, really. Captain Beefheart sings on Willie the Pimp, is it? Willie the Pimp. And just a great record. Jean-Luc Ponty plays on that. It's fantastic. It's just a great record from beginning to end. Love that cover art. I mean, just iconic. And it is an original on Zappa's own Bizarre label. Blue label. Let's see that. There you go. Has the original inner. And, yeah, the cover, the cover's in decent shape. There's no splits or anything. Just has some wear on it. The vinyl is beautiful. Is a gatefold, of course. and so happy to finally get this. Just essential. So, excellent. Alright, and this last one here is kind of a holy shit record, for me at least. Just to come across this in my local store. Mind you, it wasn't cheap. I'm not gonna, it was definitely expensive. The most I paid for a record in a little while, but I saw it and I had to have it. I ended up paying basically the amount that it goes for. I paid less than the sticker. I kind of talked them down a little bit. I'm in the store all the time. And I went home and looked, and I basically, paid for what it goes for, but still, just worth it for me. I just had to have it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, one you don't see very often, and me talking about it is not going to do it justice. So this is Centipede. The name of the album is Septober Energy. Now, I'm not sure, I don't know if Big Star Fred has this. I'd imagine that Derek has this, I'm not sure. What a great record. This is just an avant-garde jazz masterpiece. It is unbelievable. Just, you want to talk about progressive music. This music is something else. What this is Keith Tippett, who was basically a avant-garde jazz pianist and was sort of part of the Canterbury prog scene. He played on a number of King Crimson records, played on his own. He had his own solo work, the Keith Tippett Group, and he had jazz ensembles and things. This is a 50-piece jazz band. All different, not all playing at the same time, but sometimes there's a big band, and it's basically made up of members of the Canterbury prog scene. So you have members from Soft Machine. Robert Wyatt is on this. King Crimson, members of King Crimson, members of Caravan. It's just a really interesting record. Julie Driscoll, who married Keith Tippett, Julie Tippett. She's on this. Her vocals are on this. It's just an amazing lineup. There's a note here written by Robert Wyatt, who is on this, and this thing is just in near mint condition. I can't even begin to describe how beautiful this thing is. The vinyl just looks unplayed. Again, it wasn't cheap. It seems like anything with Keith Tippett's name on it just is expensive. That inner artwork is by Julie Driscoll, and this is fantastic. They only put out this one record. They only did a few performances. I guess, the size of the band, logistically, touring would have been impossible. And I guess recording this was a major production in itself. Robert Fripp produced this, and he didn't get to play on it. He was supposed to play on it, but I guess the story is he was so busy producing it that he didn't get to play on it. But there's a lot of different people on here. I couldn't even begin to tell you. There's so many. Ian McDonald, is on here, of McDonald and Giles, is on here. So many different people here. Nick Evans, Paul Rutherford, John Marshall, Robert Wyatt, again, Julie Tippett, Zoot Money, Boz, who I believe was in King Crimson, I think. A lot of different people that were in Soft Machine throughout the years, too. Just so many, 50 people. You're not going to be able to read the list. I'm sure the camera won't do it. But yeah, this thing is just beautiful, and I'm so happy to get it. So there you go, guys. Those are my finds. Please leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.